Hi, welcome back. Here's the next episode of Looking Up Yonge Street. Hope you're enjoying it. Don't forget to subscribe. Here we go. Morning. Starting off at Yonge and Eglinton today. I thought I'd just spin round, give you an impression of how much kind of density there is around here. So building quite a lot of new condos and some new ones in progress still. So it's going to be quite busy here. So I'm just standing outside the Yonge and Eglinton Centre. I've been here a few years. Maybe I'll look up online and see when it was actually built, but I'll just take a quick snap here. They recently redid the facade here and put in a little sort of courtyard here. Plus, I think on the last time out I showed you the courtyard under the new condominium over the road. So in fact, it's going to be quite a lot of public space here, I think. Yeah, there's a Cineplex that they built a few years ago in here. Still rebuilding this intersection because of the crosstown LRT. Okay, here we go. Yes, I'm not quite sure whether these buildings, this parade of shops is going to stay, because it seems to be hemmed in on both sides by the new condo development. So I'm just going to take a nip round the corner, have a look to see what it looks like, give you an impression. Also want to nip down Roehampton to show you North Toronto Collegiate. Okay, here we go down Roehampton. So you can see there's another building as part of that complex. Don't know if I'll be able to see down this laneway, see what's going on. Oh, maybe. Yeah, so here are the backs of that parade of shops. It looks to me like they may be gone. It'd be an ideal spot for another building, I suppose, once they open up the retail under the new tower there. You see the new tower behind me. Just take a quick pic. I was hoping it'd be a bit brighter today, but maybe it'll brighten up while I'm out. I just wanted to walk down here just to talk about the school that's down here. It was a high school down here called North Toronto Collegiate Institute. It was actually founded in 1910, just on the site behind me, which was in fact the location of the North Toronto City Hall. So North Toronto, like Deer Park, got incorporated into the City of Toronto in 1912. So right behind me, where you can see the sport field, that's where the North Toronto Collegiate Institute and the Old Town Hall were. So the city decided to sell off the property to a development company, and they built this large condo that's behind me. I'll just take a picture. A lot of wide angle shots today. Just walk down there past the sports field that they built. So as part of the deal, they built the new high school, which is, see, just you can see behind me there. This is essentially more or less incorporated or surrounded by the new condominium. And I think there's a big parking lot underneath the sports field here that they built with artificial turf like they normally do. Not quite sure what this is. I'll just take a quick picture and look it up later. It says one sheaf shows all the first names of the students who attended the school since 1912. Oh, interesting. Just take a bit of a wider angle shot here. Switch my hat. I'd noticed that before, I hadn't just read the plaque. So. Anyway, as part of the school, I think it's got a courtyard. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get into it. I might be able to look through a gate or something. And they've taken some of the architectural bits and pieces from that. I'll just show you a shot of this sports field here. Go wide angle on that. See, somebody's out there doing a bit of soccer practice. Yeah, anyway, they included some of the architectural elements of the old school into the courtyard, so we'll just go and see if we can have a look. So this is the school on Yonge Street. Yeah, I think I've lost my glove now. I haven't. Good. Interesting old frontages here. Let's take a snap of that. We're just coming back to Yonge Street here, so we're on Broadway now. A couple of interesting buildings here. Across the road there is the Ann Johnson Health Centre, but that used to be a police station when I got here anyway. Just take a quick picture of that. And across the road there it's an old postal station, Postal Station K. Stopped operating maybe 2-3 years ago. And they sold the site for development, but they've kept the facade, so maybe I'll just nip over there and get a couple of pictures of that. Take one from here. Look, a bit more wide angle on that. I was hoping to get that couple walking across the road as well, but no such luck. And maybe I'll just try another picture from here. They've kept the forecourt of the postal station as an open space, presumably. Don't know if it's got a date on that building. Probably has somewhere. Anyway, I'll just take a shot from here. Take a wider angle shot so that you can see the new rental building that they built behind it. I was afraid with all these new condominiums going in there wouldn't be any rental space, but actually noticed 1 or 2 new rental buildings being constructed. I'll just give you a shot looking back at Young Eglinton here so that you can see all of the high-rise that's going on. The health building there. Got some nice kind of elements to the lights there. I guess this was probably constructed in with Art Deco elements. place now is a Best Buy, but when I moved here I think it was a Chevy dealership. Anyway, let me just take a picture. Oh yeah, there's an interesting little courtyard down there. Had a few different pubs and restaurants in it. It's now called Alley Cats. Funny little detail behind me here. Talking about the restaurant on the other side of the road. We were walking up here yesterday, and it's called the Good Bite Restaurant, and they were having their 50th anniversary, so I took a couple of pictures yesterday which I might include. This I found a bit strange. There used to be a bank building on the corner here, but they've demolished it. Obviously this is going to be some sort of new development, but they've kept this. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if they're actually going to preserve that in some new development. I can't imagine that that's worth preserving, but anyway, we'll find out in due course. A new condominium going up over there. If you can see it, you can see the crane on top, I think. Oh yeah, here's Sporting Life's bicycle store. Quite a nice mural they have here. Taken a few pictures of that in the past. Just a couple of bits of architectural detail behind me on these buildings. Tighten up another bit. Oh, there it is. Quite a nice frontage on that building over there. The joggers, I thought there'd be a few people out, although it's a bit chillier than I thought. Oh, just going to make it across. There's a coffee shop here with an interesting kind of graphic on that. Dog dutifully waiting outside. The Good Bite restaurant where they had their anniversary yesterday. Just talking to the owners here. I'm just going to take a couple of shots inside. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's great action shot there. Okay, thank you very much. So how long have you guys had the place?
23 years.
23 years. Oh, sorry, I forgot I was still recording. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So it's still pretty busy. You're one of the few places that still has a counter in the area, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much. Okay. Hope you lost another 50 years. Okay.
You may win a 50.
Great. They're really friendly in there. Okay. Just take a picture out here. They were kind enough to give me a coffee in there. That was nice. Just across the road, there's an old cinema there. Actually, maybe I'll get a good shot of it from over here. And there's that coffee place again. Yeah, so a lot of these old cinemas actually had to close the cinemas because they couldn't provide wheelchair access. So this is one place that closed because of that, and now it's kind of an event space. I think you can have weddings here or birthday parties, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm just going to take another picture from over here and widen up on that a bit. So I'm just going to walk a bit further down, because on the other side, when I say the other side, I mean the west side, of Yonge. It's a building that kind of prompted me to actually start this vlog. So I've taken a few pictures of this building because it's kind of an Art Deco building. And it's got some really interesting detail, you'll see in a minute. When I was photographing up here a few months ago, somebody said that they'd never actually looked up and seen the kind of griffin on top of the building over there. Look, where is it? Let me get right opposite. Yeah, so that's the building directly across from us. So they'd never actually looked up and seen the griffin and the clock on top of the building. Anyway, I'll just take a couple of shots from here. Oh, maybe I'll give you a bit of a perspective on the building there. Widen up a bit. Anyway, this building, I looked it up online, and it was built in 1931, and it was the North Toronto showroom of the Consumers Gas at that time. I forget who the architect was, but maybe when I get to the kind of lightroom section, I'll include that. Yeah, I'll just take a picture of that building from here just to put it in context. Somebody on a motorbike there. It's a sure sign of spring. Oh, there we are. Apparently that the metal front is made of aluminum. Just some amazing detail. After it was a Consumers Gas showroom, I think when I moved here it was still a gas showroom, but then it was a YWCA for a while. Take a wide angle there. Oh yeah, I'll take another shot from here. Okay, so I think that's it for the day. Pick it up from here next time. See you then. Back in Lightroom here, I looked up that event space that's now called the Met. And it was in fact called the Capitol Theatre, so this is an old archival photograph. While I was looking it up, I also ran across a bit of amusing information. The store in the corner there, apparently at one time, was a Laura Secord store, so for a period of time they couldn't serve any candy in the theatre. I thought that was a bit amusing anyway. The day before I went out vlogging, I was out with my camera and we were taking a walk, and we passed the 50th anniversary of the Good Bite restaurant, so this is just a picture taken from across the street. Also took another picture as we passed by the restaurant. I looked up the architect for this Art Deco building. His name was Charles Dolphin, and he also designed the postal distribution centre that is now the facade for what was the Air Canada Centre. I believe it's called the Scotiabank Arena. Also, while I was looking at the information, apparently that wasn't a griffin on the top of the building there, it's a very stylized eagle, so I was wrong about that. But they might be griffins on the corner, I don't know. It didn't mention those anyway. Okay, so that's it for the day. See you next time.